McGill-Toolen Catholic High School, the home of the Dirty Dozen. So a little bit about myself. I have never not wanted to be a volleyball coach. I would have written an essay in middle school that said, I will grow up and be a volleyball coach and a teacher, and I will be winning state championships. This was in Texas at the time, and I was blessed to, my husband's from Fairhope. Some people know that story, and he encouraged me to apply for this job when it came open about 9 years ago. Brought me here to Alabama, and been doing it for the last 9 years. Had a lot of success and a lot of tremendous athletes to get to work with, and the campus, the school, the whole setup, we couldn't be more blessed.
Well, tell us what we can expect this upcoming season.
Well, for 2022, we've got a lot of returners back with us. We had only graduated 4 seniors. One of them wasn't able to play due to a shoulder injury, so I'm sorry, 3, right? I apologize, 3. And one wasn't able to play. So 2 players who were very important to our team as far as glue and organization. I called one a mom and one a boss. And the mom made him feel good, and the boss kind of told him what to do. And they were great examples for the young girls on what this is going to look like moving forward. And for 2022, I couldn't be more pleased. We have 4 seniors. We've got 8, is that right? Juniors, and we've got 2 sophomores. And what we have noticed this cycle of training is the competition level in our gym has never been this high. I think Grace actually said that to me yesterday, said it to the group yesterday. We've never trained at this high of a level. Grace said, this is my senior year, it's never felt this way. So it's really exciting to build that and to have them feel what that, every day in the gym, you're getting after it and playing super high level. So what will 2022 hold? Really, it's up to these guys. One thing that we've noticed about them is that we don't want them to feel entitled to anything. We want them to compete and get after it. And we've got 14 girls that are all very good at volleyball. And our goal is to find that group to be on the floor that wants to really get after it, compete really hard. And so resolve and mental toughness is something we are really focusing on right now.
So what are some of the things that you do to make sure that these girls can come out and play for you every year, and what keeps you going to want to come back and coach every year?
That's a good question. I think every group is different. So I think if you think this is the way you do it, then you're probably going to miss it. And I could be accused of that. What works for one group is not going to necessarily work for the next group. It took me a long time last year to realize that group needed just a boost of confidence. They wanted to work really hard, they wanted to win, but they didn't necessarily believe they were really as good as they were. So it took me a while to figure that out. Luckily with these guys this summer, I noticed it really early, that what they want and what their actions are showing in the gym and in the weight room and on the track, they weren't meshing. And so we've just challenged them. Like if this is what you say you want, then you guys are going to have to figure out the resolve piece, the mental toughness piece. Some groups have it more than others. We've been talking about that a lot. Mental toughness is innate in some people. Some people have a little bit more of it, but it's absolutely something that can be practiced, and there's no question that they're talented. But
so
we're going to get tougher.
You're going to get tougher. So
yep.
What have y'all done this summer? I know I talked to you earlier, you said you guys didn't travel north, but I know you guys had some play dates. Talk a little bit about that and some of the teams that you came up against during your play days.
We hosted the event in Foley. We host that each year. The Thursday and Friday before All-Star break is when we have annually hosted that. And we got to play against Spain Park, Mountain Brook, Spanish Fort, Enterprise, Florida High School. Who else did we play? Mosley out of Florida. Who was it? Lewisburg out of northern Mississippi. They're close to the Memphis border. And what we want to see in Playdate is, what do we look like? There's no committed lineup. We're just experimenting with a lot of different things and then seeing how the kids compete. It was a good measuring stick. I don't think it's anywhere close to what will be later, and I'm fine with that. I just want them I think it's good for them to put a jersey on, feel a little bit of the nervousness, go compete against other teams, and then measure for themselves where they think they are, and that is always helpful for them to get back in the gym the next week and realize we have a lot of work to do.
If I was to come to a McGill-Toolen volleyball game, what can I expect? What type of atmosphere will I expect to see?
Well, last night we actually had an inter-squad scrimmage, and I jokingly said, like, man, you guys have a lot of friends. It was a really great atmosphere. I mean, granted, the parents were probably required to be there for a parent meeting later, so that was probably half the crowd, but I mean, there were, I don't know, 100 kids, 50 kids. It was really great. So I think you would expect to see fast-paced volleyball, high-level volleyball, and then a really fun atmosphere. That was the feedback I got last night watching.
Well, who did you bring here with you today? Talk a little bit about those.
I've got Grace Petro here on my left, and she is a senior setter, possibly libero this season. What Grace is good at, and so what I admire the most out of Grace is, number one, girl wants to win all the time. And she doesn't like losing, and she gets frustrated, and she's really hard on herself. And so she is working this year on keeping it light, telling jokes when she gets really frustrated, and so that she can stay light. She sees the game at a really high level, probably one of the highest levels in our gym. She sees what's happening, and she's able to communicate that. So very important for our team.
And who you have on your right there?
On my right is Anna Grace Sparks. Anna Grace is all about, she's an outside hitter, and Anna Grace is all about fun. She's about relationships. She wants to make sure that I'm okay, you're okay, let's have fun together. And her work ethic is also tremendous. So she wants to win at the same level that Grace does. It just comes out a little different because she just wants to make sure that we're all okay. You'll see her often on the court smiling, giving high 10. She'll often have a party for herself, and then she wants people to join her. I think we're getting better parties on the court where people want to join into the hype. So she's really important for our energy level on our floor.
Well, go ahead. Let's go ahead and get them up there and talk to them a little bit.
All right, Grace, you're up.
Grace. So, Grace, what do you expect to contribute to the team this season, and what do you expect, that the whole entire squad will be doing this season?
I think personally I would contribute like the knowledge of the game, whether I'm on or off the court, just what will score, like shots wise, who to set, what to do. And then altogether I think, as you said, our level in the gym is very high. So if we just compete on the floor during a game as we do in practice against each other, I think we can expect to go pretty far and do good this season.
So what are some of the things you've worked on in the all season personally yourself away from practice to make sure you're ready this season?
I watch a lot of film all the time. I do that a lot just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And I do a bunch of private lessons setting wise, so focus on my location because that's my thing. I always have to work on, make sure the ball's when I set in the same spot every time, no matter who the hitter is. And I've been working on a lot of defense because, as she said, I might be the libero for the team this year, so I got to get some defensive reps.
You're the first volleyball athlete I heard that watched film. I'm like, okay. So watching film, what can that do for you? I know you said some things, but do you watch other opponents, or you just watching film on yourself?
I watch mainly games that we just played, like right after, because I know when you're in the moment, you see some things that you're like, oh, I wish I could have done this different. But when you go back and watch it, it kind of slows it all down, and you can kind of pause and slow the plays down so that you can see like what you did wrong. Half the time you're right, half the time you're wrong, and when you go back, you can kind of really see it, like see the defense, if we were set up right, or if it was the block, or just like then when I go into practice the next day and we're playing sixes, I know how to beat the other side. So that's another thing.
Coach, I'm gonna say like I told forever, but why are you here? You got a coach right there.
I know she is. That's
well,
right.
so tell me a little bit about that. Your teammate there over there to the right before we bring her up.
Okay, this is AG. She is, as she said, she's always energetic. You always want her on your side because even if you're losing, you score 1 point and she's just in the middle screaming. So that's definitely something. She has worked really hard we were on the same club team this past season, and she's worked really hard on all of her shots and really getting range. And she's been working really good in the backcourt, in middle back, moving wise. So I always want her on my side. She's very energetic, and she always learns how to put the ball down.
All right, Anna Grace, let's go. Yeah, that was good. So, Anna Grace, what do you expect to accomplish this season? Any personal goals and any team goals?
I kind of just have the mindset of kind of doing what I can, keeping the ball in control. For me, my job on the court is to kind of lift up my teammates, inspire them, and do what I can. I'm not a 6'3" outside, so I have to learn to do what I can and put the ball down in hard situations. And so I think that our team has been working on that, out of system balls, and I think it's going to be good.
Now, she said, Grace said you're vocal. So, of course, I know in different other sports, especially like basketball, you got to be vocal on the court. The point guard does. So, technically, you're the point guard on the volleyball court. So, with some of the younger kids coming up behind you that are on the squad, what do you tell them what to expect? Because you're now on varsity, and Coach Woods, I'm very sure is a very rigorous coach, and she expects a lot out of you guys. But how do you bring the younger kids along?
Well, a lot of the girls on our team are different, and we've been really taking the time to learn about them and see how different girls act. But a good way that I go, just kind of basing off barely knowing them, at the beginning of the season, I really just focus on making them feel comfortable out there with us, because if Coach Wood's on them, if they think that they can't do it, whatever, you can't go wrong with making them feel comfortable and let them know that you're out there with them and that they can do it and you got their back.
So
yeah.
what do you think of Coach Woods?
I think Coach Wood's a great coach. She knows a lot about the game, a lot, and I know that a lot of us wouldn't be where we are without her. She's pushed us really far, and it's going to prepare us for life, not just with volleyball, but just being a woman in other aspects.
Any particular game you're looking forward to this upcoming season?
I'm looking forward to the first one. Same word.
That's right. That's a good answer. So, Coach, some of your non-conference plays, are you guys going to cross over to any Baldwin County teams at all?
Well, we are in the area with Baldwin, so our area is the Fairhope, Foley, Daphne. We will play Bayside and we will play Spanish Fort. I think those are the other two Baldwin schools that we will cross over with.
Yeah, you got playing Coach Ann Schilling this year.
Heck yeah, man. Every year.
But I can tell you this, I think it's going to be a pretty good season. I definitely got to thank you guys for coming today, and good luck this season.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. I did want to say we're going to make this annual.
Okay.
I am so thankful that we are doing this for women.
All right.
So thanks for having us.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right.